Hi, I'm Rebecca Kokendorfer with Journaling.com. Welcome to Atomic Mindfulness. The techniques that you're going to be learning this next 10 days are profound. They're fast and they're easy to do, but they make a huge difference in your life and in the lives of everyone you touch. Now, as some of you may know, last year my son had cancer. He had testicular cancer that had progressed all the way up into his neck. So we were pretty scared there for a while. And one day we were all sitting out in the backyard on the swing, and my son confessed that he was afraid. The very next day he had to go into the hospital and begin the chemo sessions, and he was nervous about them. Now, in the old days, before I had begun practicing mindfulness, I think I would have really been in my stuff at this moment. I don't think there's anything more frightening than your child being sick, their life being threatened. But fortunately, I've been doing some inner work now for decades and practicing mindfulness for a very long time. And I've built up what I think of as a tool chest with lots of mindfulness techniques in there that I can bring out when I really need them. And I want this for you too, because when we're sitting out there in the backyard and my son, who I love more than anything in the world, as you can imagine, says, "Hey, I'm feeling a little scared about going in tomorrow for those chemo sessions," I was able to center myself. I was able to center myself and say, "Hey, Dave, what about if we use the power of words to rename this experience? How would you feel about that? What about if, instead of thinking of it as going to the hospital for a chemo session, what about if we say you're going to the healing center for a healing session?" Oh, immediately we were all so much lighter. And that's what we called it for the next 6 months. We also used the power of intention. So as we were sitting out there, I said, what about if we also use the power of intention for this event, where sometimes we're in a lane that we can't get out of. This is not an experience or a journey you would necessarily want to have. We can't get out of that lane, but we can decide how we're going to feel about it and how we're going to show up for this experience. That's atomic mindfulness too. So we decided as a family that it was going to be, we even named it Together Fest. That was my daughter's idea. She said, why don't we name it Together Fest? And that we go through this experience with him. And so the very next day, it was his birthday, and we held a tie-dye party for him. And the whole next year, it was a love fest, and it was a Together Fest. And I want you to have this kind of an experience too. I think it's so needed in the world today, and it's needed all the time. We all need these kind of techniques. So every day, here's how Atomic Mindfulness is going to work. I'm going to send you a short video every day, either introducing you to a new technique or perhaps reintroducing you to a technique that you already know, like breath work or tapping, really fun things like that that you can use right away. And I also have some wonderful bonus Zoom sessions scheduled. I'll send you the schedule for those, but I have fabulous co-hosts. It's almost like a surprise. I have, the woman from Transcendence, and she's going to lead us in body movement. I have a woman who's going to lead us through tapping. I have the woman in charge of joy-based living. Oh my gosh. This Atomic Mindfulness event is designed to raise our vibe. This is a high vibe, high energy event. And there's 2 reasons for that. One is I want you to have this mindfulness tool chest to learn some new techniques that you can put in there, and you can draw upon them whenever you need them or someone you love needs you to know them. And also, by all of us doing these techniques and raising our vibration for that 10 days, I know that it's going to send ripples of positivity and love and joy out into the world. That could be one of the greatest gifts that we do for ourselves and for the world right now. And it works. I tell you, I promise you, these techniques work brilliantly. Recently, my son had his 1-year appointment, cancer-free. We were on our way in the car to go to the doctor's office, and I was wondering what he was feeling. We didn't have quite the word yet. You know that 1-year appointment with cancer is really important, because if it hasn't come back in that year, odds are it's going to stay away. So we were in the car, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, honey, what are you feeling right now? What's coming up for you right now?" And I thought he was going to say something like, "Well, I'm kind of scared. I'm a little bit nervous." But instead, he paused in that beautiful, wise way of his, and he said, "I'm thinking about what I've learned this past year." That, my friend, is mindfulness. And this is the gift we're going to give ourselves this next 10 days, and that's the gift we're going to give the world. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Atomic Mindfulness.